Hey, this is Matthew with Swordslinger Custom Holsters doing another radio-related video. This is going to be a radio review. Going to be reviewing the Baofeng UV-5R Mini here in a moment. But before I did that, I wanted to line up all these different HTs or handy talkies, handheld radios, and look at them, and we're going to compare it up to the Baofeng UV-5R Mini here in just a moment. And all of these radios I've done reviews on the channel, other than the UV-82, the one in the middle. I have not done a review on that one. That was actually one of my very first handheld radios, so I do need to do a review on it because that is one of my favorite ones. But the first one we're going to look at here is the TalkPod A36 Plus, which I've done a review on the channel with. And you can see it here. It's a ham radio and a GMRS radio. And I mainly want to point out the thicknesses and the bulkiness of all these radios compared to the UV-5R Mini. And as you can see, the TalkPod here is one of the bigger ones, mainly because of the battery. And if I'm not, I'm going to check it here. I think it has like a 36 amp hour battery. Hold on just a second here. 32 amp hour battery. So it is the biggest battery in this lineup here. And you can see the size there. Next one up is my favorite. I've tried a lot of handy talkies and handheld radios. My favorite overall for GMRS, that is this one here, the Baofeng GM15 Pro. I've never found a radio that worked better than this one, even though I really want some of the other ones that I've tried to work better than this one, because this one's kind of big, but every time it works just flawless, and it's rugged, and it has really good reliability. But it is pretty bulky. It's not as bulky as the TalkPod, but it's close. Now, the GM15 Pro, to give you an idea of the size, why it's so big, it has a 1500 amp hour battery. So quite a bit smaller than the TalkPod, but it's still pretty good size radio. Okay, the next one up here is the UV-82 here in the middle. Now, it is sleek and thin. It kind of reminds you of like a cellular phone in the early 2000s, late 1990s. It is just, it's sleek and thin for this kind of radio. Really good. I need to actually get a upgraded battery for it, so it has the USB-C charging capability. But it's tall, but really thin. I really like it. One of my favorite radios. Then we have the TID Radio H3 Plus ham radio. It is not GMRS capable, unless you do a firmware update, is what I've been told. It is really small, a little thick, but it is a small radio. Not very big at all. And then, you know, we have the kind of like the standard over here. We have the UV-5R, or in this case, it's the UV-5G Pro. It's the same size as the UV-5R. But, you know, it's the standard, not because it's the best, but because it is the cheapest and the easiest to get. So, you know, all the size capabilities of all these radios need to be judged against this one here. I mean, this is the, it's very tiny, very capable, very affordable. But then we come up to the UV-5R Mini. Now, I will admit it is not much smaller than the UV-5R, but you know what? It's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good size. I mean, when I opened up the box the other day and was looking at this, I mean, it really was exciting because it has an LCD screen, as you can see there. And it's hard to tell out here in the sun, but it has a very bright screen too there. And you know, my UV-5G there's the battery's dead. But anyway, you can see the size here in comparison. The UV-5R Mini is quite a bit thicker. No, I shouldn't say quite a bit. I mean, it's, you know, fairly thicker. Now let's check the batteries here. This is one thing I didn't check ahead of time. Let's see. The UV-5R battery here has an 18 milliamp hour battery. Now let's check the UV-5R here. It has a 1600 amp hour battery. So it actually has smaller capability than just your standard UV-5R battery, but not by much. It is a little thicker, but it's not as wide. So there's that. So look at these radios. Let's just forget the batteries for a minute. But you can see how thin the Mini is compared to the UV-5R. And you know what? Looking at it now, when it comes to thinness, it is not that. I actually think the GMR or the UV-5R is thinner. But I think the only difference is this is a little bit narrower, as a smaller LDS screen. Let's see. So that's interesting. I actually didn't check that before we did this video, but a standard UV-5R just isn't that. When you take the battery out, it isn't that much smaller. But on the other hand, this UV-5R Mini, they probably really should have named it something else. I mean, it is smaller in some capacity to the UV-5R, but it's really a totally different radio. The UV-5R Mini has airband, and it has different frequencies that it can access compared to just the standard UV-5R, which we will get into in the next video. This is just size comparison. And I do want to let you know that Radioddity sent me the Baofeng UV-5R to do a review on. So they did send this to me to do a review, but I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm not really worried about, I'm not going to hold back anything. But I do want to let you know that they did send it to me, and as well as this one here. They sent this one to me a while back that I did a review on. But in this video here, part one of reviewing the UV-5R Mini, I just wanted to show you the size here. And really, compared to the UV-5R, the size is not much different. The only difference is they've made it narrower, and they gave it a LED screen. And they also gave it this little stubby antenna too, which I have not tested any of these out. So I'm going to test out all these antennas and see how it is. But you can see the antenna size compared to the stock antenna on the UV-5R is much smaller, which is good for what it is. Like I said, when I took the battery off, I'm a little surprised that this one is almost a little thicker than the UV-5R, because when you hold it in your hand, it feels much thinner. It feels smaller. But then again, the UV-5R is so small too. I think it has to do with the narrowness of the body. So something to keep in mind there. So we have the UV-5R Mini, you have the UV-5R, TID Radio H3+, then we have the Baofeng UV-82, and then the Baofeng GM15 Pro, and then the TalkPod A36 Plus. So this is going to be part one of several part series looking at the UV-5R Mini. So stay tuned for part two. This is just mainly size comparison with other similar HT radios. So anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part two.